Hey, good morning, everybody. It is Friday, April 21st. My name is Alan, and I want to welcome you to my Spiritual Growth Through Recovery podcast. Purpose of these videos is to grow my spirituality by following the AA program of recovery, and I do that by being honest, vulnerable, and accountable, which is why I make the videos. I'm no expert in Alcoholics Anonymous or spirituality or recovery. I'm just sharing my experiences. I try to live life on life's terms and do it sober. The recipe we follow here is we read the daily reading out of the AA Daily Reflections book, and I'll share my take on what resonated with me, and then some other topic that's on my mind or heart. So, for the daily reflections, there is a link in the description if you want to follow along. All right. So the topic for today is going to be cultivating faith and the idea of acceptance. All right. So April 21st, cultivating faith. I don't think we can do anything very well in this world unless we practice it. And I don't believe we do AA too well unless we practice it. We should practice acquiring the spirit of service. We should attempt to acquire some faith, which isn't easily done, especially for the person who has always been very materialistic, following the standards of society today. But I think faith can be acquired. It can be acquired slowly. It has to be cultivated. That was not easy for me, and I assume that it is difficult for everyone else. Dr. Bob and the Good Old Timers, page 307 to 308. Fear is often the force that prevents me from acquiring and cultivating the power of faith. Fear blocks my appreciation of beauty, tolerance, forgiveness, service, and serenity. Right, so again, that dang word fear pops up, right? All right, so what resonated with me? The whole idea, I don't think we can do anything very well in this world unless we practice it. Jordan Peterson kind of talks about this idea of the fool becoming the master. And the idea there is no matter what we do the first time, we're gonna stumble and fumble around with it and not do it right the first. That's just the way it is. But the idea is to keep pushing through that, right? And the fool is the precursor to the master. So you'll never become a master unless you kind of fumble your way through. I don't know about you guys, but anything that comes easy doesn't seem to have a whole lot of value. And if I can push through those moments where if I feel like I'm failing or I'm struggling, and you kind of break through, man, that's a cool deal. And you really learn some skills that way. Another kind of idea that came to mind is this book called The Growth Mindset. And I think I mentioned before, there's certain sentences or paragraphs or articles or whatever that when you read them or hear them, it changes you forever. And in this book, there's a line, something about if we try to, we're afraid to ask questions because we're afraid to look how we're going to look if we don't know the answer, then we're never going to grow. But if we ask a question to learn something, then we'll make more progress that way. And the whole idea is, who cares what we look like along the way, because our objectives are to learn, not to appear knowledgeable. I remember when I started this last job, I was afraid to ask questions in this engineering meeting because I feel like I should know the questions. After reading that sentence, I realized my whole motives are wrong. I need to be willing to look like a fool. I need to just focus on trying to learn the information, not how I'm perceived along the way. And then to just assume we're going to get something right away. What kind of ego does it take to just assume I'm going to get it right away? One of the things with me is, especially athletically, I can become competent just enough to be relevant, fairly easy. So there's times where I don't have to do a lot of hard work. I tried golf once, hated it, sucked at it, never tried it again. But so the idea is we're not going to be good at everything, and definitely not right away. So we need to push through those things. And I don't believe we do AA too well unless we practice it. We should practice acquiring a spirit of service. I just think, why do I hesitate to put in the effort in AA? Because I still think it's a need to and not a want to. I'm still wanting the old lifestyle without the negative consequences. So I think that's kind of one of the reasons I'm hesitant to kind of be all in. We should attempt to acquire some faith, which isn't easy. We should acquire. What does acquire mean, right? It means to learn or develop. It's not just going to come as we have to develop that. We have to, and then it talks about cultivating. We must do some work to kind of prepare it, like preparing soil. We kind of get it ready, right? So we have to kind of do some legwork, some foundational work, and we have to be willing to work through that, right, to get there. And then the last sentence, it was not easy for me, and I assume it is difficult for everyone else. Why is it difficult? I don't know. I think we're just selfish by nature. We want what we want. We don't want to always walk through discomfort. And faith means we got to depend on somebody else. We're not in control. So self-reliance has been the only tool I've had, and look where it's got me, right? So that's kind of what resonated with me on that reading. Fear is a whole different topic. We can get to that later. I think we thought we just talked about it. I didn't want to talk about the idea of acceptance because the next video I want to talk about the difference between acceptance and surrender. A few different ideas, and I've mulled those different concepts out. So I want to read this part in the big book about where acceptance is the answer, right? So starting on 416, the big book, last paragraph, first sentence, it says, "At last, acceptance proved to be the key to my drinking problem." And you fast forward up to 417, "When I stopped living in the problem and began living in the answer, the problem went away." And then here's that kind of famous paragraph from AA. "And acceptance is the answer to all my problems today. When I am disturbed, it is because I find some person, place, thing, or situation, some fact of my life, unacceptable to me. And I can find no serenity until I accept that person, place, thing, or situation as being exactly the way it is supposed to be at this moment. Nothing, absolutely nothing happens in God's world by mistake. Until I could accept my alcoholism, I could not stay sober. Unless I accept life completely on life's terms, I cannot be happy. I need to concentrate not so much on what needs to be changed in the world as on what needs to be changed in me and my attitudes." I remember being in this AA meeting, and this was read, and some guy in the back goes, "Oh, I don't have to accept anything." And my first thought was, good luck with that. And yeah, I struggle with this acceptance thing because I don't want it the way it is. I fight that reality. And so we'll kind of get into the definition of what acceptance is in the next video, but I just thought that was relevant. And that also kind of makes me think of this part in step 10 of the 12 by 12 on page 90 where it says, this is one of my favorite lines too, "It is a spiritual axiom or a fact that every time we are disturbed, no matter what the cause, there's something wrong with us." So I think the truth for me is whenever I'm disturbed, whenever I'm not at peace, some part of my reality I'm not okay with. There's a part of the Serenity Prayer where it talks about the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And to me, the wisdom to know the difference is fuzzy for me. So if you can't change it, if it's one of those things that's out of your control, then we have to accept it, or we'll be frustrated, irritable, itchy, trying to, and just imagine how we're going to project on other people. So that's kind of what I had for today. I just want to challenge you, encourage you to look at what parts of your life are you not willing to accept. I'm still struggling. I'm still having a hard time accepting that I can't drink or use drugs. I fight it a lot. So where are you struggling to accept? Where are you when you kind of get disturbed? And when you feel that disturbance, can you pull yourself back and kind of find some state of awareness and go, what's going on with me that I'm feeling this way? Because really, we can try to change all this out here, but all it really changes ourselves and our perspective. So anyway, I hope you have a good week. Hope you have a wonderful weekend. I'm off to San Diego to see family, so maybe I'll get some epiphanies while I'm out there, and if I do, I'll share them with you. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the other side of the weekend. So peace out.